Hello, Fear the Meerkat here. Welcome to another episode of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Oracle Seasons. I forgot to turn my microphone on, which means rather than live commentary, I'm having to add this commentary on later, which means that it might be slightly out of sync. And if it is, I apologise for that, but there's nothing I can really do. So I actually checked strategy guide, because if you remember from the last episode I got lost, and it turns out that I had to go back to this room because of something I missed, which you will see in a minute. But yeah, I changed things slightly, so I basically, with my recording equipment for recording the video, I've now told it to record the overlay, whatever that means, and that seemed to help to some extent with the top and the bottom of the screen being cut off. I won't know exactly how much that's helped until I actually see the video on YouTube. I mean, I'm going to keep on trying to search for a solution to this, but the truth is that I might not be able to find one. And if I can't, well, it'll have to do. I don't think actually that the fault is with the recording equipment. I think the fault is with the editing equipment. See, I'm watching it on the edited, on my video editor here. And it seems to have cut off more of the screen than my video, my recording program does. So not really sure what to do exactly. So yeah, I've cut a lot of stuff out, which might be confusing because normally when I'm cutting stuff out, I don't cut out bits that have me talking on them, and this time I have, so I might be making some quite rapid transitions between scenes here, but as you can tell, that secret room was where the arrow was pointing, the block was sort of pointing to it on the left hand wall, and this is the area I couldn't get into in the last episode because I couldn't find it. But I managed to get into it now, and as you might have been able to see, it's just below the room with those two massive spiky things that move around the room and are really annoying. It's quite unusual to have two exits and entrances for a dungeon, but it did occasionally happen with the 2D Zelda games. That's the business scrub up there. It's not actually particularly useful, but it exists. I've tried to keep in some footage that isn't strictly necessary, but would give me some time to say whatever I have to say. You really don't need these rupees. No, you do need the rupees. You don't need bombs. What I meant to say, I think. I really hate the way I actually end up with some videos that are just poor quality because of stuff being cut off and things like that. Okay, in this room you have to be quick because eventually that chest in the middle fades away. So as long as you know which blocks to put the bombs next to, then you're fine, and it should be fine. But as you can see, I didn't realise that it would fade away, and I didn't quite know where to go, so I was kind of messing around for a bit. But I've cut out all the times when I didn't quite make it, and so now you should be able to see where I went to. I don't think it's actually necessary for me to get accidentally hurt here. I think I was just a little too concerned about running out of time. But you do actually have time to do this. And then I think I cut it out to the point where I got to the area where the key's actually necessary. Yes, I did. And I don't know what I cut out there. I actually I've ended up with the episode being quite short because there's less commentary than there normally would be. But this is an hour's worth of footage that I've cut down. So I probably went off into another room just to check on something. Seriously, these snakes are annoying though. I hate these snakes. They're all my least favourite enemies. They're almost as bad as spike traps. And those weird sun things that follow you around the room are quite annoying as well. Yeah, you have to be careful with them because they do follow you around the room. And these bats will knock you off if you don't get rid of them quickly. I don't actually find the bats that bad in comparison to other things. So yeah, this thing moves you around like that depending on what position you're in, and I ended up being moved to the wrong place. So if it wasn't for the bats, moving along these panels would be fairly easy. And I think I cut it out. I cut out some footage while I was looking for boss door. I think I was just looking at parts here because of that some noise that plays. And yeah, I'm sorry this episode is quite short. It's just because it wasn't going to be this short, but then the commentary, as I say, was gone. So. But yeah, I found out this thing is supposed to move you to a different area. It's the area that it moves you to. So as you can see in a second, it's supposed to move you downwards, but it now moves you upwards because of the position you're in when you walk onto it, if you see what I mean. So you need to leave the dungeon and go back in order to reset it. Because the position you're in when you last moved it affects the position it's in now. So now that it's been reset, it's in the right position to move you downwards. If that makes sense. I think I just paused here and talked for ages. Now, I already showed off what the owl says. Basically, he's giving you instructions for how to beat a boss. And it is quite easy actually to accidentally blow yourself up or whatever because you've put the wrong thing in slot B. I wish there were more slots for the equipment you're carrying around to go in, but there aren't. So there you go. You might recognise this. It's called Dodongo, and it's in a lot of Legend of Zelda games. I believe it was one of the bosses in Ocarina of Time, which I have a Let's Play of, which if you haven't seen it yet, but you're enjoying this video, you ought to see it. So yes, I worked out that you need to fire bombs into its mouth, which it didn't take too much working out to do, because that's what you always have to do with the Dongo. It seems to be a massive weakness that they have, for some reason. And I did save this a lot, because, well, I just did. This make me kind of a wimp. Never mind, I was sick. Although actually, I don't think these bosses are that bad. I mean, at least this one moves quite slowly. It took me ages to realise this, but you actually need to put it on the spikes in order to actually hurt it. And then I cut out some footage and basically showed off how you beat it, and then showed off me actually beating it. So now you know you need to fire a bomb into its mouth at a time when its mouth is open, just before it shoots those fireballs, and then you need to pick it up using the bracelet and throw it like that. And so you won't need, you'll need the bracelet and you need the bombs, but you won't need to be carrying your sword, because you can't carry 3 things at once. Those flying cabbages again. Oh, what so was said bomb at the end, that was a bit weird. I do tend to find that the music can get a bit repetitive. I think I like the music, but it's the same music for every outside area, and it's the same music for all of the bosses, and so on. That is a weakness that this game has. And I assumed you had to go back here. So, as we've been told, there are ore chunks here, and now that now that I don't know if you're playing along with this or not. Probably not. I don't really have a proper schedule for uploading. I just upload when videos are done, depending on how much I'm doing at the time. But yeah, once you have a shovel, you can gather these ore chunks. But the problem with that is that there's nowhere to go where you can actually use them at this point. I'm assuming there will be at some point somewhere where they're actually useful to buy something, but here they're not. And sometimes they sort of jump out, and that depends on what direction you're facing. Like that depends on what direction you're facing. So you need to be facing in a direction other than the direction of the lava, in case they just sort of jump out of that. And if you can see the entire screen, you'll see something at the top that shows how many ore chunks I have. And if you can't see the entire screen, well, you won't see that. Sorry. But I think I gathered about a dozen here, and then I went looking for somewhere I could actually use them. I thought you might be able to use them here, which is the place I went to when I wasn't recording, but I didn't shut off because there wasn't anything you can do. I thought the jobs would interest them now that you could give them money or shanks, but sadly not. I couldn't find anything useful there, so I decided to try to get another one of these things that would allow me to change the weather, but sadly I couldn't find one. So I think we're about at the end of this episode. Here, I will see you next time. I'm just going to say goodbye now, because this kind of cuts out fairly suddenly. So yeah, hopefully it'll be live commentary next episode.